Welcome back to Tech Talk with Michelle and Christa. Happy New Year, everyone. We hope your new year is off to a fantastic start. As always, we have a couple of tips to share with you, so I'm going to jump right in. My tip today involves graphics and being able to add them to a variety of things, so I'm going to use Google Slides as an example. If you go to Giphy.com or Giphy.com, depending which side of the fence you are on that argument, they have launched stickers. So, for example, let's say I'm looking for, I'll say, dog. And when you do a search, if you look for the results that are stickers, you'll get some images with transparent backgrounds. So if I click on the thumbnail and then from here, I'm going to right mouse click and save the image. And then I'm going to rename it because I might want to use this later. Then when I'm back in my Google Slides, I can insert the image. Whoops, let's try that again. Insert image, upload, select it. And now I'm able just to add some interest and humor to my Google slide.
I love it. And it was pretty simple to save that and put it in. And you might want to remember if you're doing this on your teacher Chromebook that it would be it'll just go to your drive.
And I'll just copy and paste images, but because it's an animated GIF, you do have to go to the kind of root file and download the image. But there's just all kinds of cute things out there that can really liven up your slide deck. So knowing we have Pear Deck 2, obviously you could insert the stickers in those, and not just for teachers, but this obviously is something that students could do to liven up their projects as they're demonstrating their learning to you.
Absolutely. That's really good. I like that. And we all are using slides a lot, and we're all using, a lot of us are using just our intro, maybe our Bitmoji classroom slides or just our slides, so that you could use any of these to kind of liven that up a little. So great tip.
Christa, what do you have for us today?
Okay, this is something I have shown in the past, and it's called Whiteboard.fi. And I know we've all have our different ways of using whiteboards in the classroom, but this one, if you can remember in particular, allows the teacher to create a whiteboard and without accounts or anything, send that link out to a class, and then every student in the class has their own individual whiteboard, and the teacher can toggle between and look at the student's work and keep toggling between their own whiteboard and the student's whiteboard. There's about 3 new features that I wanted to demonstrate today. So I know a lot of you have seen this, but I want you to pay attention to the new features.
This is probably my favorite whiteboard app just because the ease of setting it up, the no accounts, it's just super quick.
Yes. Every time, you don't even have to, you can set up an account, but there's really no need to if you're just going to use the free basic version. Every time you come in and you just click new, and I'm just going to put, let's just say Reinhold Bio period 3, let's just say. Here's one of the first new features is in settings, right when you're setting it up, is that you can enable a waiting room lobby, and before you weren't able to do that. So that's kind of nice. So if someone wants to pop in under a random name or an inappropriate name, you don't have to accept them. You can, this is also a new setting, but this isn't anything that I really was going to feature today, but you can enable for it to automatically save for students, but I'm not going to turn that on today. So that's all I do. I hit create new class. So it's going to create my room. So my whiteboard is blank right now, but I have created a room in which my students can come to. So you could put this on the screen. So I'm going to share this link with Michelle because she's my student today, but you would just maybe post this link to Google Classroom. If you are only working with 3 or 4 students in a fit, you could just send this to them via email as well. So once she joins, when I go to toggle my whiteboard, this is what, when I create, the student is going to see. So I can just give them a blank whiteboard if needed. I could insert a question. I could insert an image for them to draw over, which I'm going to show you today. There is, and you math people know I'm not the best, but there is an insert math function that you may want to check out. So you could maybe put the formula or problem in there. If not, you can always just take a screenshot of your actual problem and put it in here as well. But for today's purposes, I'm going to go ahead and put in an image that I've already saved because I want to show you the new feature where I can make this image the background. So I'm going to insert an image.
I do love the lobby feature because, like you said, if someone puts something inappropriate, that's easy to just ignore them.
So I have put in a Punnett square. So maybe I would say solve the Punnett square. And again, we're doing something really basic just so you get the idea of it. So I'm going to choose push. And here's the second new feature I want to show you. We used to be able just to push this out to students so they would receive this in their little individual whiteboard. But because I really just want them to not mess with the picture, I want them just to draw inside the Punnett square and solve it, I'm going to push to students as background. So Michelle is my student down here. She should have received this whiteboard. You did, correct?
Actually, I'm still in the waiting lobby.
All right, so she's in the waiting lobby, so I'm so sorry I forgot about that. So here she is. I needed to toggle back, and here's my lobby, one waiting. So here's how you can accept students if you use that feature. If you don't use that feature, you won't have to do this. So sorry about that. See, here I can kick her out if she puts something inappropriate. So I'm going to accept her. And now you see she's a student in my classroom. Here's my classroom, and then I want to show you real quick. I can toggle back to mine if I want to make changes and toggle to Michelle. So you see Michelle is the one student in my class, but you would, if you had 10, 12, 20, you would have thumbnails of each of them. I can toggle back and forth like I showed you. I can also click on Michelle's to see how she has solved. These are premium features at this point, so you can't necessarily use these, but you can go to Actions, and this is the third new feature that's free. And I can, if she has done something inappropriate, again, I can erase. I can kick her out here. I can re-push another whiteboard back to her to have her start over. There's a few things that you could do if they were actually solving something, but those are all under Actions. So if I close that out and toggle back to my whiteboard, I could make a change here. Let's say I made a change. I could add something, and I just want to show you for sake of showing you. Let's say I added an emoji. And so if I push that back, if I toggle back, you can't see, but Michelle can see on her end that she would have the smiley face emoji on hers. I can clear these out. I can start over right on as she and I are still in this class, in this room code, working back and forth. I can add another one, a next whiteboard for her to see. But the bottom line is, if you play around a little, you basically are creating a whiteboard with a problem or a prompt or whatever, and you can toggle back and forth to see your students, and they can see your screen as well.
I love this. I feel like I don't remember seeing before, and maybe it was and I just missed it, but like I see now that you can change the background. Like I put a grid, but there's, music notes, there's kind of graph paper, I guess.
Yes.
And I feel like they have a few more choices.
Yes, they've added a few more choices here, and if you play around, I think you can kind of see some of the new features, but you can do the grids. Now, one thing I want to keep in mind is that I pushed that. You don't have to save that as the background. You could have just pushed it to students, and then they have the ability to move this graphic around and write in it as well. But if you are wanting them to get a whiteboard with a specific background or a picture in the background and they just draw on top of it, try to remember to push that as the background.
I also like from the student's perspective, I can see your whiteboard or see the teacher's whiteboard at the same time that I can see my whiteboard. So maybe the teacher solved a math problem and I'm wanting to look back. That's an easy thing to do without the teacher needing to reshare the screen in a Google Meet or however. I can easily, as a student, just see that right on there. I love it. Great new features.
Just a few new features in that Whiteboard.fi. Try to check that out, especially, right now with hybrid, or if you're working with students in fit or individual or whole class, it works for any of it.
We hope you guys enjoyed our tips this week, and again, hope the new year is off to a great start. Stay geeky, everyone.